Greetings, fellow investigators, and welcome back to our video podcast, Into the Darkness, where my friends and I play the Call of Cthulhu role-playing game. I'm your host, Tom Rayleigh. Our campaign is The Timeless Sands of India. It was written by John Hook, and he'll be our game master. And this is episode 7. Our recap will be done by myself as my character Nestorius Crane. So without any further delay, let's continue our journey into the darkness. I can't tell you how grateful I am to finally have those horrendous racket noises gone from my head. Last night, I slept like a baby. I feel so much better. Despite the monsters that are converging on us now, on our lonely little outpost, the alien library, the key to man's future, I feel fine. It was a long, dusty journey to this place. We never imagined this half-buried sphere in the desert, something so ancient. Who knows what may lie beneath our feet, buried in the sands. The pilgrim, as he is called, has pulled us all here to protect this wealth of knowledge, not for ourselves, but for the future. In an instant, he showed me how to construct a remarkable weapon, a lightning gun. I have done my best. Now, the enemy, the adversary is approaching. They have sent their sandstorm ahead of them. We are armed and ready. They come, men and monsters, to destroy the library. We will stop them, or mankind will end. And if mankind ends, we will drink my tea then. And so the call goes out. Let us overshout the howling winds and cry victory or death.
Victory or death! Yes, the defenses are up. The men and women are ready. And you can see off into the distance, coming closer and closer, just this wall of wind and sand. Does anyone have any last-minute preparations?
We were talking about getting some Molotovs ready.
All right.
Possibly throw on something that tries to get in.
That's super easy to do.
I don't think either of the trucks are very likely to survive, so we might as well use the fuel. In particular, we should maybe perhaps siphon the fuel out of the trucks so that they do not explode when bombarded.
Who wants to partake in this task?
I'm rather encumbered with this thing on my chest.
I'll help out, although I would like to take some time for a few minutes to write a letter to my family, just in case.
As I'm using one of the trucks as a shield, I'm prepared there to siphon out fuel readily.
Okay. Give me a luck roll, please.
For luck, I have 20. Excellent. Yes, that is hard but not extreme.
Okay, great. So then with a hard success, give me a D4 plus 1. Well, that could end up being too few. Tell you what, give me a D3 plus 4.
So we get 3. 7.
So 7. You were able to fill 7 empty wine bottles with fuel and stuff rags into them. Okay.
Yeah, and we have the 2 cars on either side of the entrance, so I'll make sure that we distribute 3 or 4 on both sides.
Okay. So you got 3 on one and 4 on the other.
Is that from one truck or both the trucks?
That would have been everything. That would have been, an available bottle. That was
setup.
all the available bottles. So you had the available bottles, and then the luck rolls to see if he ingested any. So he did not.
Or I was used to it.
Right. So yeah, that's good. Molotovs.
Cigarette.
I think we actually have Molotovs listed in here.
Well, that's right. I break
We
into
sure
song.
do. They do 2d6 damage plus additional burn damage.
Nice.
Nice, nice, nice. You have to use your throw skill in order to chuck it.
It's a long way to Tipperary. It's a long way to go. Oh, sorry, guys.
Ramachandran, you are inside the library because that's where the writing implements are, and and so you're writing your letter to family.
I'm just writing to my family to tell them I love them and to explain what's happened.
Okay.
As best I can in terms that they'd understand. I'm not going to go into detail about the dreams and everything, but I'll make it sound noble.
And Uncle comes up to you, seeing a kindred spirit and countryman, and asks if you are. How are you feeling? Are you afraid?
Well, I think it would be foolish not to be.
He nods. He agrees. He says, "Yes, I am afraid as well." But he feels relief in knowing that you are here and knowing that you and your friends are here, and that with the support and guidance of the pilgrim. So he feels confident that you guys can be victorious.
Well, I think if this is the way that this life is going to play out, then I can only hope I'll be rewarded for it in the next.
Uncle nods. He agrees. He says, "Yes, yes." He goes, "Remember, if things start to turn dire, pull back, retreat to the library. We will make our last stand here."
John, I was going to ask, the crack that we entered through, the entrance to the library. How thick is the wall?
Thick.
I mean, I mean, how long is that thin passage?
30 feet.
That sounds good.
30 feet. So it's
very defensible.
It's very thick, and the rooms aren't nearly that large. I mean, so there's some space on the inside, but yeah, it's 30 feet. It's a 30-foot corridor of that crack before you can get to the interior rooms. So yeah, it's pretty thick.
Next to where the other gentlemen are storing the Molotov cocktails.
You're being deliberately bloody annoying, aren't you?
Goodness.
They've breached the perimeter already.
I would like to get a pail of water and to fill that pail of water with strips of cloth long enough to tie around your face, just in case we have to deal with any smoke.
Okay. Yeah, you can easily get that prepared. Does anybody else have any other preparations?
Well, speaking of when he said that, if I'm standing out front, I probably have a piece of cloth over my face, not wet, but to keep from breathing in all the sand.
Sure.
And the
Yep.
dirt.
Yeah. Lowered scarves or scarves raised.
Yep.
I'll find myself front and center in the sandbag position, trying to be a forward spotter.
Okay. And remind me now, if I remember correctly, Mr. Fox has a lightning cannon.
I do.
I think Miss Lockhart has a lightning cannon.
That's correct.
Mr. Barnes has his elephant gun. but I don't remember.
No, I do.
Lee
Oh,
Enfield
Hauptmann
and
has
my
an
saber.
elephant gun. And then you have a saber and a Lee Enfield. And then Mr. Ramachandran, what were you going to arm yourself with?
I have a shotgun.
Shotgun. Okay.
Oh, and I have this sketch here. So we have the cave entrance, the wall, we have sandbags around, and the 2 trucks. Does that seem like what we prepared last week?
Yeah, that looks really good. I like it. Yeah,
And
that's
so
excellent.
I'm behind the engine on one of the trucks. I don't know where anybody else is.
I guess I would be up by the sandbags. I want first shot at whatever these things are. Maybe they'll see the lightning and run.
Where's Miss Lockhart positioned?
I am hanging a bit back, so I'm probably hovering near Ryanair, but off to where the truck won't obstruct my shooting.
Okay.
So kind of to the left of the truck towards the outer edge.
Outer edge? Sure.
Does the arsenal stock any bayonets for the Lee Enfields?
Sure. Absolutely.
Okay. I would love to affix bayonets and recommend to all with Lee Enfields to bayonets.
All right.
Also, a quick question about my cannon. What's the rate of fire? Once a round?
Once around, yep.
Once a round. Does it have... It generates electricity? Does it have fuel?
Yeah, it consumes some of the metal that's in there. So let's go over the weapon. Actually, I don't want to.
And you said there were 3 settings, I think, on the lightning cannon, right? They could choose from a dial.
Here we go. Lightning cannon. Let's see.
I've got mine set to vaporize.
But then you have fewer shots.
Oh, so here's an opportunity. I inserted the D12 here. So a fully loaded lightning cannon has 32 charges. You have a dial where you can set it to what charge, how many you want to use. So let's say you set it to 5, okay, out of the 32. If you shoot that one bolt, it expels the 5 charges all at once. And if you hit, you'll do 5d12 damage. It's a d12 per charge. But you set the dial, and then everything is expended for that. So you can just set it to 1 and get 32 shots, or set it to 5 and get a few, right?
And they do more damage as they go.
Correct.
And
I don't know if this is in there.
How high does the dial go?
32.
Up to 32.
You could, okay. Huh.
So you could do one massive charge.
And then can you reload?
It takes 3 rounds to reload the cannon with the appropriate rods of fuel.
Okay. So we've got those ready. I asked last week about hitting multiple targets with them. If it's electricity, what if the targets are touching each other? They become one target?
Yeah, I'll deal with that should it come up.
Okay.
We'll see how that goes.
If I see a whole pile of them trip and fall and land on each other, I'll just shoot at the pile.
Oh, especially
if they all just line up outside of the sandbags and be like red rover.
They all hold hands.
Although cinematically, I have to say, I can really see Indiana Jones getting like 45 bad guys with zip, 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 zip.
With his whip.
Right, when they're too close.
All right.
All right.
So there you go. So you have your any other questions on cannon operations or anything like that? So you have your lightning cannon skill. That'll be the skill that you use to fire. So you'll roll that.
Yeah, I have, of course, reloaded the empty chamber in the elephant gun, and have the rest of my chills at hand, and I think even lightly wetting something wrapping my face is a good idea against the coming sandstorm.
Mm-hmm.
And we have it's evening at this point, right? Early evening in the desert. The shadows are lengthening.
It's early evening, but the sky looks dark over the sandstorm, and it looks like it's going to bring in a cover of darkness as well. Oh, lightning cannon operators. You are also aware that lightning cannons have the possibility to overcharge and explode. So here's the other side of the coin when you're choosing what dial. So whatever dial setting you choose, so let's say you choose 5. Each charge number is also a 5% chance to overcharge and explode. So if you set it to 5, you've got a 25% chance of it to explode.
All right.
And some of the cannons they know are in better repair than others. Is that
Right.
Does that vary?
Correct. It does vary depending upon the condition. Now I know Nestorius Fox was amazing in his construction, so I'm going to go ahead and just say that both Lockhart and Fox are using good quality cannons.
Do we have any sort of torches or night lighting system for the caves, or when it goes dark we're blind? If we have any chance to have some sort of rudimentary light down that.
Well, there's oil lamps inside the library.
Okay, and that's it.
Yeah, you've got oil lamps. There's no electricity in there. There's no generator.
Okay, I'm just thinking we might want to put 1 or 2 torches in the cave that we may have to retreat down if it's getting darker and darker. It would be bad for us to make a stand at the sandbags and then when it's pitch black have to find our way back through that crack.
So you want to put oil lanterns right at the very foot of the entrance?
I'm just thinking maybe like put one at near the entrance, maybe a few feet back. That should be plenty of light. And then one maybe 10, 15 feet farther down, just so we have like a beacon to retreat through.
Okay.
That's
good.
Now that you say it, Mr. Bones, I wonder if we shouldn't put 1 or 2 lamps, if they will tolerate the storm, on the outside of the sandbag so that we can see what comes before it
put them in
sees
the
us.
trucks.
Yeah, that might be good.
I don't want to make the trucks too much a target, but if we put them outside the sandbags, then we can see perhaps what's coming before what's coming can see us.
I wonder how long the truck batteries will last with the headlights. We could unscrew them from their fixed positions and just kind of prop them facing as like little makeshift spotlights.
That's interesting. I'll try that, yeah. Given that I am German, I must have some mechanical...
The batteries would get us a good...
Yeah, steady light.
Hour to hour, maybe.
As soon as... Yeah. And if we have enough gasoline left in them, then we can even keep the engine running.
Oh, we drained the gas.
We drained only enough for 8 bottles.
Right.
And there must have been some inside the...
Even still, with the full sandstorm going, we might not be able to see our hands in front of our faces.
Yeah, that's true. Although I very much like the thing you've done with your necktie, Mr. Fox.
I figured, why not throw convention to the wind, sir?
It says I'm a Kampfmann, a warrior. Yeah.
I was going to give a threat and have it doing this through the hole.
When the wind comes up.
Yeah.
The winds are beginning to pick up.
Major Barnes is no longer singing.
I break into random song.
We all should have a ration and some and drink of water. They'll be here any minute. They're coming quickly. In fact, I think if they have not come up, they're waiting for the storm. or they are the monsters are waiting for the turban people to catch up with them so they can attack at once.
Or who knows? They might not be able to see any better than we can.
Well, I think the devils from under the sand will see through anything.
Yeah. Didn't you say that they seem to maneuver through the sand? I'm not sure if it was an observation that both Herr Hoffman and myself experienced, but they maneuvered through the sand like they were very adept to it.
It did seem that way.
Seemed like sand creatures in a way. Yep. So yeah, they probably have like irises or whatever on their eyes to protect from the sand and all that.
If you have a scorpion and it also comes from hell, I think it's happy in the desert.
Okay, so if there are no additional preparations, you hunker in, and as you're watching outside, the storm, it feels like it's right on top of you, yet it is still, a couple hundred yards away, and the roar is just deafening. It sounds like there's a freight train, running right past you. You've got those lamps. There's a couple of lamps, oil lamps, outside the sandbag barrier. Is that correct?
Mm-hmm.
So those oil lamps sitting out there, you can see them shaking, and then eventually the winds just pick them up and just rip them and throw them into the desert. Because it's a sideways wind, right? It's coming sideways to it, and it just takes them and just tears them away, and they vanish. Okay. Nestorius Fox and Barnes are on the front lines at the sandbags. Anybody else on the sandbags?
Hopefully a couple NPCs.
So yeah, and there's plenty of other people as well. You guys are not alone. There's lots of uncle's workers. There's lots of other servants of the pilgrim, such as yourselves, who have been called here, and they're all spread out.
Where perchance is the Nigerian soldier who's been so efficacious? Is he front line, second line?
Yeah, he's front line as well, right? So he's also armed with a lightning cannon up front. He's a little bit further down the line to the left, though. Anybody who's on the sandbag line, give me a spot hidden.
Can I just say that I'm going to tie my my handkerchief around my neck so that I can, if I need to, I can pull it up over my
excellent
mouth if there's a
Fail.
sandstorm.
Failed. Okay, Barnes. So you said you were successful.
Hard, yes.
Oh yeah. So you're squinting and peering, and you can just now you're starting to feel some of the grit of the sand whipping through the air. But as you're peering into the storm ahead, you start seeing shadows at ground level. Some seem to be walking and swaying as they're walking and approaching with the coming storm, but there are also other shadows that seem to be loping and leaping up and around as they're also coming with that front line of the storm.
To arms, laddies! And I direct in the direction I'm spotting that.
Okay. The storm has hit, and with it comes heavy winds, and they're cross-cutting winds, blowing from your left side as you're looking outward. They're just coming in, and you can feel the grating of the sand, just tearing at your clothing, at your hands, any areas of exposed flesh. It just feels like it's tearing at you. The visibility diminishes greatly. Those of you on the front line, as you look to your left, where you saw Sergeant Coney with his lightning gun, He's become a bare shadow. You can just barely see his outline. So visibility has reduced down to about 10 feet. Okay. Beyond that, it is nigh invisible, just shadows, shapes. And so the winds are howling. The sounds make it deafening. It's very difficult to hear anything and see anything. I need everyone who's outside to make a con roll, please.
09, which is it's actually an extreme for me.
An 85 is a fail.
A fail.
Standard pass.
Okay.
29 is just a hard success.
All right. Mr. Ramachandran?
I got a standard pass.
Those who pass, congratulations. If you failed, take a D4 in damage from the scratching and burning and biting of the sand, blasting across your skin.
Ouch! That's 2 damage.
The large lumbering shadows, if they're big enough, if they look to be a bit bigger than a human in size, can I take like a center mass shot into one before the range of the rifles becomes useless?
You may attempt a shot. It's going to be a hard success to hit.
Hard success. All right. Well, right on. Let's try this. 43. Oh, I don't think that's going to do it. 43 out of, no, darn it. All right. Nope.
All right. You fire into the sandstorm. Hard to tell what's happening. Somebody hears a scream. Somebody hears a scream off to their right. As you can now tell, battle has ensued. All right. I need before you get into any kind of close quarters combat, anybody with a readied firearm can fire. I want everyone to give me a luck roll, and I want to know if you passed or failed on that.
14.
03.
That is a pass. Obviously.
Oh, it's nice.
47 is not successful.
Sadly, a 28 is a fail on my luck.
Ramachandran?
Yes, 31 was a pass.
Okay, if you were successful in your luck roll, your eyes have fallen on a shadow ahead of you that has a humanoid profile. If you failed your luck roll, your eyes have fallen on a shadow that's approaching you that has a not so distinct of a human profile, and it seems to be moving in very strange ways. Considerably, it's leaping in the air quite a bit as it's approaching you. So those are your targets. You may, if you have readied firearms, you may attempt an attack now.
Oh yes.
Okay. All right, I have my lightning gun dialed at 2.
Lightning gun dialed at 2. Okay.
Likewise, lightning gun dialed at 2.
Ooh, an 11's a pass.
Oh,
A
awesome!
hard success. Yay!
Yes. Due to the storm, you're looking for hard successes. The visibility, the wind, the interference with what's going on. You're looking for hard successes.
Right. I rolled an 03, and I did not. I just rolled my dice. 12. 12 points of damage.
All right, and
A 9
and
and a 3.
you each had a setting of 2.
Yep.
Correct.
Okay, so I'm going to check for Lockhart first.
Oh.
Okay. And Fox. Okay, yeah. Your weapons discharge as you expect. And let's see, Fox, you did 12 points of damage.
Correct.
So it's 1d12 per charge, yep.
Yeah.
D12 per charge.
Ooh, that would be 23.
Wow.
Nice. Nice.
Nice shot,
Um,
Phoebe.
But yours was just a hard success, not an extreme.
Right, mine was just a hard.
Okay. Yeah, you can see your lightning dances out, and it illuminates the figure, and you just see him, light up and burst with fire from the inside out. Let's see. Fox, you bolted yours, and you did just 12 points of damage.
Mm-hmm. A 3 and a 9.
There it is. But you had an extreme success.
I had a 3. Yeah.
Okay. So you can see yours, and you were hitting a human target. You can see your lightning bolt lands on one human and is barbecuing him. And these guys are holding these curved sabers, these scimitars, and the lightning arcs from his scimitar over to another human target, who it's attracted to his scimitar, and you can see lightning dancing down his arm, and he seems to be howling in pain, and he kind of spins off and disappears into the storm.
Take that, you bloody bastard!
How did everybody else's attacks go with their targets?
All right. I'll discharge the Lee Enfield, and nope, not a hard.
Not a hard success. Okay, so you fire the Lee Enfield, and your weapon, your hands were kind of pulled as from the wind, and so you kind of misfired. Herr Hauptmann? You've got a large creature bounding towards you.
Yes, I've got one of the monsters, and I rolled a miserable 85. So
right.
I shot wide. My intention is to get out from behind the engine and into the cab of the truck, hoping that protection from the storm will allow me to shoot more effectively. But maybe it'll be on me first.
Okay, you can do that. It's still approaching. So you fired, and now you move into the vehicle. Ramachandran, how was your attack? And you have a monster approaching you, don't you?
Well, I also rolled a 3.
Oh, for your attack?
Like Mr. Fox, yes, exactly.
Oh, very nice. And you were using a shotgun.
I was rolling a shotgun, yes. What's the range, though?
This is going to be... what's the close range for your shotgun, did it say? Did we determine that?
Close range is 10 yards.
Okay. So it's not at 10 yards, so it's going to be at medium range.
Okay. That will be 2d6. That's 4 points of damage.
Okay. Yeah, so it's still too far away to actually see anything that's happening. But it was a monster, right? There's a monster approaching you?
Yes.
Okay. So you two had monsters, you guys had humans. All right, so that was your at weapons range. You guys all have creatures approaching you. Let's see. Lockhart and Fox make new luck rolls to find out what kind of opponent is approaching.
Oh, 99.
All right.
35 is a pass.
So a new human, your eyes fall on a human, and while Fox eyes a monster. For Fox and Lockhart, your opponents are still at long range, so at the outer edge of your vision, because new opponents are closing in. But for Hoffman, Barnes, and Ramachandran, your opponents are now closing the distance into basically melee range. So for Hopman and Ramachandran, I need you guys to make sand rolls for seeing these creatures bounding up into your personal space.
Do
Me
I get any
too,
benefit for having survived one?
You actually, did you lose any sand rolls for seeing them, or was that only
I've never
Barnes?
seen one yet.
You haven't. It's not close enough for you yet.
Oh, okay.
You
I
guys don't
lost
have
sanity, but not critical sanity for
Okay,
seeing
'cause
them when I
you
came
only-
out of the cave.
You only lose a maximum of 6. Anything beyond that, for seeing the same monster, you will lose nothing. Also, you guys don't have visibility to each other now anymore, because the sandstorm is so thick and you're in the heat of battle.
Do we hear gunshots ring out over there?
Oh yeah, you hear gunshots, you hear screaming.
We do hear screaming.
Yeah, you hear screaming. You hear screaming. And it's all muffled from the howl of the winds.
I think that I have lost between seeing the beheading and seeing the creature's attack. I think I lost 5.
Okay, but the creatures
so
themselves,
far.
the creatures themselves, I don't think you've lost 6 yet. But
No.
did you fail this sand roll?
Yes,
Okay,
I did.
so lose a
81.
D6, and then Ramachandran, were you successful or failed?
Oh,
I rolled 99.
Oh, well, there you go. You will go ahead and lose all 6 for that fumble, and give me an idea roll. Hopman, how did you do?
I rolled 5.
Okay, I think we'll go ahead and call it 5 and let you go ahead and cap out at that. And you also, please give me an idea roll.
Do I have more in my choir?
I made a hard idea roll at 25. I
Oh,
really get it.
you totally understand.
Thank
And
goodness for
Ramachandran,
crappy dice
totally-
rolls.
Yes.
I rolled a 97 out of 80.
That is amazing.
That's good.
Each of you, please give me a D10.
Are you including Ramachandran? I thought he failed his idea.
Oh, did you fail your idea?
Yes, yeah, I rolled 97.
Attack
and
Oh,
today.
I'm
my-
sorry.
My
I
intelligence is 80.
I thought you succeeded. Never mind.
Really
so
high
you're-
intelligence as well.
all right. So you luck out. You keep your wits. But how does Hopman do?
I roll a 5 for the 1d10, having very intelligently interpreted the nightmare before me.
Absolutely. Remind me from your character sheet, who is someone close to you? Do you have a significant person in your life?
I have a widowed mother and a cherished wife.
Your cherished wife. That's right. I remember you kissed your wife goodbye when you were getting ready to make this voyage to Calcutta. You clearly you have to assume that you're sick because she's at home. She's not here. She has to be at home. But this thing that's jumped on the hood of the truck, and you're inside the cab. It's squatting on the hood. You know, it has one paw reared back like it wants to strike at you, but you notice in the other paw, it's holding a person by the chest, you know, of their clothing,
Greater!
and your wife. It's holding your wife by the chest of her clothing, and she's striking at it, and she looks at it and she starts screaming at you, Rainier, oh, save me, Rainier, please, why have you let this happen to me? She's blaming you for this happening to you, and so yeah, that thing is right there in your face.
Pow!
Yeah, it's
Right here. I want to hit it right here. I want to explode again.
yeah. Okay. Yeah. Let's pull that trigger.
13.
13. That's awesome. That is a hit. And
Hard success.
roll your damage. Very short range.
This elephant gun is 3d6 plus 4. 3, 7, 11, 15. Whatever bonus from short. But a
Okay.
minimum.
So 15 damage.
Mm-hmm.
So you pull the trigger. You're inside the cab of this truck. The glass explodes and shatters. The sound is absolutely deafening. In fact, other glass windows to the side, the peripherals, they blow out as well. You roll a d6, please.
Oh, 1.
Oh man, you take 1 point of damage. You take 1 point of damage of broken glass and sound. Just the pressure on your ears equates to 1 point of damage.
And we assume I'll be deaf for a little while.
Oh yeah. And you hit that thing, and you saw it. You saw this red flower blossom on its chest, and it just kind of disappeared. And your wife's body was flung away with it as well. Ramachandran, this thing has landed in front of. Where were you exactly again in the battle?
I'm standing to the side and slightly behind Mr. Fox.
Okay, so you're out there.
My idea was that I was going to be covering one of the people with the lightning cannon.
All right, yeah, with the swirling sandstorm and everything, visibility making it difficult. You're kind of getting turned around. This thing kind of landed. It had leapt through the air, and it just kind of landed on the ground right in front of you. What is your dexterity?
60.
Okay, you may act. What do you want to do? It is large in front of you, and it pulls back a paw, ready to try and strike.
I'm going to let it have the other barrel.
Fire. We're getting evidence that I can't read.
Oh no, you can't see it.
That's all right. No. Tell me, what is it?
It's a 1.
Oh, fantastic.
Nice.
About bloody time.
Yep, that's awesome. Yeah, so you just pull this trigger. You don't even have to roll your damage. This thing is torn in half as the torso basically is vaporized, and the legs and the guts that were kind of pooled in its lower portion, it just falls into a quivering mass at your feet.
It takes me the next turn to reload, I take it.
It will.
Right.
Okay. Major Barnes, a human with a large sword, is standing before you here, Mr. Barnes.
Alrighty.
So, what is your dexterity?
My dexterity is 60.
Very good. Okay, he comes up and he has that scimitar high. What do you do?
So I am front and center of the position, standing my post at the sandbag wall. So I will, since he's going to have to come up a little bit to get over the sandbag wall to engage, I will thrust bayonet into his guts and discharge the Lee Enfield as I do so.
All right. Give me a... this seems like a pretty difficult maneuver. So the bayonet attack would be I would consider that like a brawling, right?
Okay, I'll start with that, I guess.
So what I want is give me a hard brawling, and if you can get a hard brawling, you've held him held him still enough. You've punctured him instead of a grazing slash. You've punctured him, and you can fire the weapon.
8 out of. Oh darn! Okay, my brawling's 70, and I got a 48. It's a good hit. It's just not good enough.
Okay, so you can do bayonet damage, which I can look that up. But then he will slash and twist out of the way, and he'll kind of get on the inside of you, and he'll be past the weapon barrel.
Got it. So I'm not familiar with what a bayonet would be. It's I guess what a spear sort of.
Well, yeah. So I'm gonna do
rifle going in with the.
Yeah, I'm gonna do large knife.
I was thinking bayonet would be
+2
painful.
plus damage.
Yeah, it's gonna be so I'm gonna do a large knife, which is a D8.
D8, and then my damage bonus of 1, so just D8 plus the damage.
D8 plus 1.
All right, 2, 3.
Okay.
So 3 points.
All right, so you slash at him.
Hurts.
You slash at him. He gets past the end of your barrel. You still pull the trigger, but he was already past it, so it blew past his shoulder, and then he attacks with which you can fight back, right? This is always the push me, pull you combat.
Sword play.
Yep, sword play. So do a brawling. So do a brawling fight back, unless you choose to dodge. But you can do a brawling fight back versus his brawl attack.
I'll do a brawling fight back.
Okay.
Is with the saber. I'm just gonna, I guess, discard this and go for the saber then. It's actually,
Okay.
Is that allowed? Is that allowable?
I think that would be fun. Yeah. So
right.
So yeah, the gun is gone.
Yeah, I go, and it's time for
And
me
you
to
draw
get
the
busy.
saber and clash against his scimitar.
Yeah, I'm.
All right.
Boom! Oh yes, 50 on a 70.
Okay, you had a standard success, and I had a miss. So, deal another damage to him. What does your saber do? D8?
I believe that's a D8 plus 2.
Go ahead and do your saber.
Okay, D8. Here's the D8. 3 plus 2 plus damage, so 6 more to him.
Okay, yeah, that's a pretty good hack, and but he's still up and ready to strike again. Okay, Miss Lockhart, there's a creature. There's a man at distant, so you may fire your weapon. What do you set the setting to? Do you leave it at 5 or 2? Do you leave it?
I'll
at 2?
leave it at 2.
Okay, go ahead.
Ooh, a 65 is not a pass. Uh-oh.
Okay. Let me look this up.
Uh-oh.
Okay. You depress the charge, and you hear a weird whistle, and it explodes. So you take... The weapon is destroyed. Oh. You take 9 points of damage.
And that is the end of Miss Lockhart. That is by maximum hit points in one blow.
Oh.
No.
Taking
On the upside, your friends did not see that happen, so they will not lose sanity and possibly go insane from that.
Because she was essentially vaporized behind us.
Well, the sandstorm is making visibility so difficult that somebody, probably Barnes and Fox, are close enough that they saw this blue-white flash that kind of, they were kind of rocked by it. There was a blue-white flash, but they don't know They have suspicions, but they don't know who it was exactly, nor did they actually see what had happened.
And there'll be these little bits of beautiful glass left behind
It's all over the place, right?
with reflections of Phoebe captured in them forever.
Exactly. Yes. In the right. Fox, you see an inhuman shape at distance. Do you wish to discharge?
Yes, I
And
do.
at what power? At what power level?
I'm going up to 4. 'cause it's a
4. All right. Make your attack.
And I got 62. What am I rolling for?
You're
It's
rolling
for
your
fighting?
you're rolling your lightning cannon skill. Oh, you're rolling for hard also.
Oh, well, that's not a fail. That's a failure.
Okay. All right. Yeah. So you discharge that. Give me a spot hidden, Fox.
40 out of 67. So regular.
You can see the silhouette that you were aiming at, this inhuman silhouette. It is not approaching, so it's standing kind of just at that limit, that visual limit. But it stands out there, and you can see it's contorting its body and it's moving its arms around. It's kind of like it's dancing. It's dancing out there at your vision's limit.
All right.
Okay, so all right, so it's the next round. I need everyone to give me another con roll, please.
$10. That's extreme. Apparently, I don't mind the sand.
I've got an 11, but I can't hear anything, and I'm looking for my wife in the darkness in the sand. Is anyone throwing any Molotovs? Any of not us?
Yeah, there's been a few explosions. Yep.
I'd like to know why I'm getting the same dice rolls as Tom.
Eventually,
the second time it's happened. I just rolled a 10 as well.
Yeah, eventually, good friends, their dice just sync up. I've heard it. It's it just happens that way.
Quantum dice theory.
Exactly, that's what it is. Okay. If you failed your con roll, take a D4 in damage from sandblasting. If you were successful in your con roll, you have protected yourself from the elements. Okay. So, new round. Hopman, you're still in the cab. I'm going to say, unless you choose to do something different, like proactively going for somebody, this round nobody's actually coming at the cab. So you have one of those rare respite moments in the field of battle. Ramachandran is you are still engaged with a creature, yes? No, you blew.
I blew that one away.
You blew that one away.
Attempting
Okay.
to reload.
And you're reloading. While you're reloading, give me a luck roll.
77 is a fail.
You see another inhuman shape at the edge of your vision, loping its way towards you. Barnes is locked in a mano-a-mano sword fight, and Fox, you see that inhuman shape doing a weird dance. So I'm going to start with Fox. apologize. I just need to bone up on this real quick.
John, I wonder if, since I am not under attack,
Yeah.
I can use this sub round to see if any of my friends are in danger and take a bead in a helpful way. Like, I obviously couldn't help Barnes out because I'd be as likely to kill him. But is there anything that I can take aim at while I have this moment?
Make a luck roll.
Reasonable. And I think 27, I just squeaked it in.
You do see the I believe, Ramachandra, you said you saw an inhuman shape, yes?
Yes.
You see the inhuman shape that seems to be zeroing in on Ramachandran.
All right, so I'm gonna prime my second barrel and aim for that, and we can go back to the regular rounds.
Okay.
I'm gonna take aim.
Slouching towards me.
All right. Fox, I need a power roll from you, please.
All right. I got a 27 out of 65. That's hard.
Nice.
Okay, Fox. You feel an itching beginning on your face, and like it's creeping, almost like this itching is like creeping across your body, across your face, and across your brow, and it feels like it's trying to get its itchy little fingers into your flesh, but then it dissipates. It must have been that damn sand that's blowing. Okay, Fox, you may. This is the new round, so you may discharge your weapon if you so desire, because the creature did not. It danced. It did not advance towards you.
So I'm going to discharge 4 again.
4 again, okay.
And I got 8.
8. Awesome. That's a big hit.
8 out of 33. I don't know if that's a hard or a...
Well, half of 33 is going to be like 17 or something,
Yeah.
16, 17.
Yeah, so
nice. I think it would have been a 6 or less for it to be an extreme.
And if I didn't declare it, I was going to do 4 again. So
You did declare 4.
okay.
So, because I already rolled for the mishap, and you're safe. So roll 4d12.
Jeez.
4, 12, 4, and 3.
So 23.
Yeah, you can add it up faster than I can.
Well, 2 4s is an 8, and 8 and a 12 is 20, and then 3, so 23.
There you go.
So this giant thick bolt of lightning dances out and just illuminates this creature, and it just bursts into flames, and you see when it was glowing that it had like an ornate necklace and everything on that others did not seem to be wearing, and it's just like howling and screeching. So awesome. So yeah, it dies in a fire right there, in a pillar of flame. Barnes, you actually have a better dexterity, so this is your round as attacker, and then I will do my round as attacker, but in each round we both roll because we're doing the fight back thing. So
who was I trying to defend?
Ramachandran.
Right, gotcha.
So, a question for the keeper. From my experience in sword and hand-to-hand in the past, this guy's pretty wounded. I think like 9 or something like that, and he's a human, right?
Yeah,
so
I'm
guessing he's really wounded. Am I getting a sense that he's starting to bleed out, and like I might have?
Yeah, it looks like he's desperately fighting.
Okay, if that's the case, I would love to just tire him out by sort of doing a step back and a slash at him. I don't want him to like do a desperate last hug tackle into me. So I'll just keep him at sword's length and do a good slash at him.
Okay. So do a brawling attack. I will do one in retaliation.
All right, 56 out of 70, so a standard hit.
I also have a standard hit. So in a tie goes to the attacker. So you make the winning blow, apply damage.
Oops, sorry, wrong die. Ooh, 12. Boom.
Okay. Yeah. So this blow that you do, you kind of knock aside the saber and then stab forward and just pierce him right into the heart, and you can see the lights diminishing in his eyes as he slumps and falls to the ground before
This
you.
will trigger my mania, and I'll just break into song. Rule Britannia, Britannia rules the world. Anyway, I go on singing.
All right. So this
you.
round, Ramachandran is reloading his weapon. He sees an inhuman figure loping towards him, and Herr Hauptmann, who's inside the cab of the truck, and the truck is rocking, and you guys hear a horrific tear, and the rear canopy that's over the cargo area, it gets torn and ripped away, and it flies off into the air and disappears into the storm. And you can feel the truck shaking from the force of the winds. Are you reloading this round, or do you have a round? Do you have a barrel that you can fire?
I had a barrel prepared.
Okay.
I was hoping that I had a chance to put a second barrel in, but I would prioritize firing at Ramachandran's foe.
Okay. Yeah, because Ramachandran is reloading this round and is unable to do any long range shooting this round. So you can go ahead and fire your weapon.
A 37 is just a success for my 40.
Standard success?
Standard success.
Okay. Yeah, so it doesn't look as if anything has happened, right? So it just the fire, it fires off into the darkness. Okay. So you guys can give me listen rolls. Fox, Barnes, Hauptmann, and Ramachandran could give listen rolls.
25 is a hard success. Oh no, it's almost a hard success. I have 47, so I can make it a hard success.
Okay. Hauptmann, you hear?
I could not possibly make it a hard success because I just fired.
Oh, you're deaf. Actually, hearing isn't appropriate for you. Yeah. But I'm going to let it be visual then. For you, since you were successful on your roll, you do notice out of the corner of your eye, and if anybody was successful, they actually hear movement. But you see people, you see allies, companions, retreating into the library.
Okay. So we're the well, I've seen a few of the creatures blowed up and a couple of lightning shots.
Yep. I've
also hallucinated, and I've been deafened, and I'm a little bit sand blind. I'd like to see how many of the Molotovs are still outside, like planted in the sand. They were all in the lee of the trucks.
Right. Right. So
I'd like to assess that.
So you'll have to exit to go check that.
All right, or at least open that door and lean out. I guess I'd have to see both trucks to have a chance. Yeah. So I'll get down in a lee, and the trucks are rocking anyway.
Yeah, the trucks are rocking. Okay. Fox, give me another luck roll. Barnes, give me a luck roll. Fox is muted, so we don't know what he's saying.
That was a fail.
Yeah,
Okay.
fail.
So with failed luck rolls, you guys see at the edge of your vision inhuman shapes, inhuman silhouettes approaching. For Hopman and Ramachandran, Hopman, you get out of the truck and you see 2 unused Molotovs on the ground nearby. Ramachandran, you can see that inhuman shape is loping towards you, and it's closing in on melee range this round. In fact, it's like leaping towards you, so you can now that you've got your weapon loaded, you can get one quick shot off before it lands and is in your face.
Okay. Oh, bloody hell. Oh, God, I dropped the bloody dice on the floor. On the lap. 16.
Wow! Great
Is
roll.
a hard.
Great roll. Do the close. It's a shotgun, right? So do the 10 yard. Do the 10-yard damage.
Which is 4d6. 1. 1. 1.
I will survive.
5.
All right.
8 points of damage.
Wonderful.
Bit disappointing.
Okay, yeah. So you can see that hurried motion to fire. It went a little bit wide, and you can see that your blast kind of ate and chewed up a bit of its shoulder and a little bit of its ribs. But the thing just lands like right in your face, and it swipes to attack. Okay, so give me so in a melee, you may attempt a fight back roll or you may attempt a dodge. If you do dodge and we tie for success band, you will win the tie because it's a dodge. But if you do a fight back and we tie in the success band, I will win the tie as the attacker.
I'm going to try and dodge.
Dodge. Okay, so you roll your dodge. I'm going to roll my brawl attack here.
I got 26 out of 30.
So you were successful.
That's a standard. Yeah, it's only a standard pass.
I had a standard success. So we tied in that band of standard, and as a dodge, you win the tie. So bloody hell. You come down and you just kind of roll out of the way, and these giant paws just dig into the earth right where you were at. I mean, it landed and both hands came down and just tore up the earth right where you were standing. But you rolled back and you actually bump into Hopman. So the two of you are together.
Am I on the ground then?
Well, you're not prone. No, you just kind of rolled out of the way, and so you're back up into like a fighting stance. But you and Hopman are together.
He's very tough for an economist, this chap, isn't he?
And wiry, He's springy, right? Rising to the challenge. Barnes, you had an inhuman, and I believe also Fox have an inhuman silhouette in the distance ahead of you. Barnes, you had pitched your weapon to go for the saber. You can spend this round to go and get it again.
Can I reach for my in my back of my belt to see if I left my Hoda there or if that's gone?
Give me a luck roll.
Oh yeah, my luck's so burnt up. Oh no, it fell out or I left it away. Whatever.
Yeah,
Who needs this? British arms all the way. Okay.
So do you want to wait and with the saber, or do you want to go looking for that rifle?
Oh, I'm not going to waste time looking for a rifle. My best weapon's the saber. I will. Do I roughly recall who was closest to me in either direction? Was it?
Yeah, let's say Lockhart was to your right, and Fox was to your left.
Okay, so I would go towards one of them. Let's say we'll go. Let's see, even Fox, odd Lockhart, even Fox. Okay, so I'll start doing a double time retire in his direction, because if I can't see anybody and a beast's on me solo, I'll want to group up.
Okay. Yeah, so you start moving in that direction. You do end up bumping into Fox, or not bumping into, but you close in close enough to where you can see him. Fox, a shadow is kind of coming from your right, but you look over and it's Major Barnes.
Don't get in front of me, whatever you do.
There's an inhuman shape at your vision. Do you wish to fire again?
What I would like to do is wait until I can clearly see it. If it's still, so I might wait around until it's come out of the
distance and is in the close.
Right.
All right.
And I'm gonna give it a 4 when I do it again.
And so, how many shots have you had? Have you totaled up to 32 yet?
Oh no, I've got 4, 8, 9, 10 so far.
Okay, so you're about a third of the way through.
Yeah, I made little marks.
No, that's great. That's awesome. Okay, so you guys are going to wait this round, and so the creatures, each of you have your own creature that's going to be closing in.
Excuse me, John. Having rolled out of the cab of the truck, would as a veteran soldier, would I think that I had a better chance time-wise of reloading my 2 chambers versus lighting a Molotov, or loading one and
you could load both chambers and still have a Molotov in hand and ready to light later if you need.
Brilliant. That is. I shall be prepared as fully as I can be.
Yep. So you came out of the truck, you discovered 2 Molotovs. You're like, oh, awesome, 1, 2, and then you also went 1, 2 and loaded your weapon. And then Ramachandran kind of rolled over,
bumped into me.
Yeah, bumped into you.
Brother.
And that creature is standing right there.
Right, he should be super close because he's pulled
super
off
close,
target.
right? Mm-hmm. So it'll be a 2-on-1 situation for you guys. With the new, so we're at a new combat round. I need everyone to make another con roll for sandblast damage.
No. Hey, passed.
Nope, that's a fail that time. 87.
37. Yep, I passed again.
All right.
46 sweet speed by.
Okay. So only Ramachandran take a D4 in damage from the sandblasting.
2 points of damage.
It's the hat.
It's the hat. It is the hat. And for Hopman and Ramachandran, this creature is stalking towards you guys, and you guys, the winds are picking up, and you hear a rumbling, and then suddenly the truck, this deuce and half truck that you guys were fighting beside, the rear end lifts up off the ground, and it starts to stand up on its nose, and then suddenly the winds just take it away, and the truck is just fucking gone. It's just, oh my god, truck is just taken away.
It took the monster with it. No,
negative.
No.
So now
we should have tied the monster to the truck.
It is in melee range with you guys. So
we've got two heavy heels in the sand, and that thing is. I've already had a beat on it. It's gotten away, so I'm going to try to get it again.
You guys have better dexterity than it, so yeah, you may attempt. Each of you may attempt a rifle shot.
33 is a success, a normal success.
Well, there's a first. I've never done this before in a game of Call of Cthulhu. I've rolled 100.
Oh,
Don't
that is
so. I've got a malfunction.
Yep. And so really, it's not as it's really kind of anticlimactic. Is the barrels just that one barrel? You didn't fire them both, right? I'm assuming just one. It clicks and nothing happens. It's a dud round. Probably it's scored with sand from this. With your standard success, that's all you need in this very short range. So go ahead and roll your damage, Hopman, for your standard success.
3, 6, 4, 5, 10, 14 plus 4, 18 damage.
Okay, yeah, the head just vanishes, and this headless body kind of starts stumbling around and until it finally falls onto the ground.
How many have I seen go down of those creatures?
Hard to say. You
5
personally,
or 6.
yeah, have probably seen about 5 or 6.
All right. So I know that we're still under. My assumption, my terrified assumption, is we're still less than halfway through that.
Probably, yeah.
But it's very satisfying to see them die.
How very satisfying. So Fox and Barnes, 2 creatures have loped their way into basically getting into melee range. So they're arcing their way in as they're about to land. Barnes, you've got your sword, but Fox, you've got that lightning cannon. So you see actually a pair of them as you guys are together. Those 2 things are together. You see a pair of them coming at you. If you get an extreme success, you'll be able to blast them both if you decide to fire.
Well, I'm aiming at the one on my side, but
Sure,
yeah.
of course.
I didn't get any distance on it. It just stayed right with me as I retired quickly.
Got a 61.
There was one at a distance. It's coming towards you. Yeah,
Got
it had far enough away that it's closing at the same speed as the other one that's closing in on Fox.
Got it. Okay.
I got a 61. It missed.
You missed. Oh, okay. So, I apologize. I'm fighting a cold. So these 2 creatures land in the dirt right in front of you guys, and they're starting to attack. Fox, you actually have a penalty die in your hand-to-hand brawl, fighting brawl rolls because of this giant thing that's on your chest and back.
Right.
So you'll have a penalty die. Do you guys want to do dodge? You'll have a penalty die for dodging as well because it's off balancing you. Do you want to dodge or fight back the creature that's in melee with you?
Well, this is the contingency I was looking for. Now they're too close. I try to step back one, and I pull out my handgun and just fire it forward into whatever it is. But like I said, penalty dice instead.
Okay, yeah. So I will let you do a penalty die firearms in close range. And then, but it's going to be doing a brawling attack at the same time. And then, Barnes, are you going to do a brawl or a dodge?
And the dodge is half dexterity. I have to do a brawl.
Okay,
It's
so
just my best.
I want to do fight back with Barnes first, and then I'll do fight back with Fox. So Barnes, do your fight back. I'm the attacker. You're the defender. So if there's a tie in the band, I will win.
That's a hard.
And I had a failure. So you may inflict your damage. As my creature kind of swung wide, it just misjudged you, and so you stab at it.
Okay, 3, 5.
Okay. You can feel its flesh. You know, as this sword is kind of finally biting into it, it feels really crusty, as if it's got a layer of grit and sand protecting it. Fox, do your hard firearms while I do a brawl attack.
All right. Actually, I already played.
And how did you do?
I got a 9 on the first roll, but my penalty dice gave me a 74. So I failed.
Okay, so you and I miss each other. So
Okay.
I try and swipe at you, but that thing on your chest is kind of keeping me away, and it's not really attacking it per se. It's so it's just kind of it's not really damaging it either. All right. So new round, and everyone do another con roll for the sandblasting.
18.
Wow, you're doing great on that.
I eat sand for dinner.
Yes, you are.
46, which is a pass. Just.
Good. Barnes, you failed, it looked like.
Oh, no.
73.
Hopman failed. Take a D4. Not yet deceased.
46 out of 60. So we're good.
Oh, good. All right. Hopman's not too badly injured. Okay. So Hopman and Ramachandran, you guys do not see any silhouettes approaching you. So you're kind of, again, you've got that moment of calm in the chaos. So you guys can let me know what you want to do in this moment. Barnes and Fox, you guys are both melee engaged. So Fox, you want to fire your weapons again in melee range?
If I'm taking a step back and I can get the thing between me and the creature, yeah, I'll fire that. Even though it's literally right on top of me.
It's literally right on top of you. It's too close, really, for that.
Right.
So you can
I'll point my gun right at its head and pull the trigger.
Okay, so it's going to do a fight back. So you're going to be doing that while it does a hand-to-hand to you.
I got a 33 out of 35, so a regular.
Regular success, okay. And I also have a regular success, so you will win as the attacker. You win that tie, so go ahead and do your damage.
D8 plus 1. 5.
Okay. Yeah, you can see you shot at it like in its shoulder, and a pretty good chunk, like a crusty chunk, broke off. But you do see red ooze coming from that wound. And Barnes, you do your sword play.
Oh yeah, I'm from my attack, I'll just keep pushing the sword deeper into the thing and wiggling it around.
All right, so it tries to claw back at you. Roll your attack.
Okie dokie. 37. Oh, you know what? Okay. This is the time to use it. I will do 2 luck and push that to a hard.
Very nice. Very nice. Okay. Roll your damage and add an additional +1.
Oh, wow. Nice. Ha! 7 points.
Okay. Yeah, so you also wounded that one pretty well. This is its first real damage on it, right?
Oh, I got 5 before.
Oh, you got 5. Okay,
Well,
so this
7,
one was
so
damaged
12.
before.
Die,
Okay.
you beast.
Okay.
Also, this is now the first time I've really gotten to look at one close up.
Oh, give me a stand roll.
85, that is a fail.
Lose a D6.
D6. 1.
Great, of course. Okay, so now you guys are going to be the defenders on my attacks. So if we tie in the same band of success, I will win this. So go ahead and do your attacks again. Fox, how'd you do?
Fail. 85.
I had a success. So I will do... $10 points of damage.
I'm dead.
So Barnes,
knocked unconscious, whatever you want to say.
You are knocked down hard. Barnes, do your fight back.
Oh,
hi, Phoebe.
I'm spending a point of luck further. So I've got a standard success.
All right, inflict your damage. You did better than my failure.
Ooh, nice. It had 12. Come on, bring it home. Oh, max. 10, 13.
You lop its head off, and it rolls to the ground, and you see it roll, and it bumps up against the body of Fox, and he's laying there, and you see this huge gash and a bit of a unfortunate concave into his skull as he's laying there on the ground, eyes wide open, and sand is kind of starting to pour into his mouth and eyes. Give me a sand roll.
Oh, God. Oh, Jesus. Try many. Oh, Morris or Ramachandran, I have joined you. 0, 0, 0. I just lost it.
Yeah, your friend, your companion, your traveling, mate who's been dealing with all this with you has fallen in battle. You lose 3 sand, but you can, this creature is standing over it, the one that felled him, and it looks at the head of the thing that you just beheaded, and it looks at you as well.
Bastard! Ah!
And you can see people in the corner of your eye racing for the library. All right, it's a new round. What do you guys want to do?
Oh, I'm plunging this sword into that creature's head. It's
okay.
3 points of sand. I can make a choice.
Hopman and Ramachandran, what are you guys going to do?
I'd like to join the retreat, please.
Retreat you may. Hopman?
Run away!
What's it looking outside? Like we've lost a couple of fronts, but how does it look? Like, does my side, for example, seem as though it's held up, or is it just
it's
bugs and jerks pouring over the?
Yeah, it's impossible to tell. That there's chaos on the field. Visibility is all but gone. Ramachandran has made a dash for the library, and you hear a horrific sound of metal twisting on metal. And I need you to give me a dexterity roll as you see the other truck. It's being flipped, and it's like the wind is tossing it, and it's coming right your way.
That's very dangerous. 25 though.
All right, you dodge out of the way as this thing, it lifts off, and it bounces off the side of the library wall, and it also disappears into the sandstorm.
Yeah. So I'm dragging my gun, my Molotovs, and my own ass into the crevasse of the dome.
Okay, you guys make your retreat into the library. Barnes, give me a brawl attack.
Okay, all right.
Oh, you were going to say something?
Yeah, I was. Am I aware that it's so windy that the trucks are being sucked up, or is this just something that they've observed?
That's happening behind you, and your tunnel focus, it seems like, is right in your own zone.
Got it. Okay, yeah, I'm unaware, and I'm all about revenge and 25. Ooh, is that a? Oh no, out of 70. That's not. It's hard, but it's not.
That's great. I only had a standard success, so you win. So do damage.
All right. I sure hope Fox hurt this thing before.
He did.
Oh crud! 5 points. I mean, it's an okay hit, but
okay. Yeah, actually, it's enough, and you see this thing kind of, you get your sword point into what was already an open wound, and you're like digging that thing in, and you can see it just kind of twisting as it starts to crumble and die at your feet. As you put this thing down, you have a moment, and you're able to like look around, and you get this calm in the storm, and you're wondering where everybody is.
If I have any action, I'm bailing back to the entrance to the crack.
Okay.
Retreat!
Yeah. So you
I
run
thought you were
into
say
the
entrails then for a minute.
entrails.
I'm going back to the entrails.
So you turn and haul ass, and you're dying, and you make it into the library, and you can you get a quick head count, and you can see that only like 5 people have made it into the library, who were outside fighting, and of those 5, you're one, Ramachandran is one, and Herr Hauptmann is another, and then there's 2 other of Uncle's workers are they made it back in as well.
God, weren't there like 20 of us out there? Or
Yeah.
a dozen? Like
no,
dozen?
yeah, there was like 20 of you out there.
Dear God.
Get
Do we
ready
have
with
any-
get ready with the Molotovs. If they're going to come in, we can at least make it uncomfortable for them.
Do the
I think
other
this is
two?
it. I think we're done for.
Do we have a lightning cannon?
Yeah.
There's one of the people that came back had a lightning cannon.
Yep.
Okay.
Yep. In fact, he's sitting there taking it off of him, and he's like, "Get this away from me! Get it away!" And he drops it, and this guy he takes off and starts running for the deepest recesses of the library that he can.
Oh, jeez.
I'm going to use this moment to get rid of the dud cartridge and load another one.
Okay. Give me
I'm promising myself silently as I do that if I survive this, I'm going back to that market and I'm going to punch that man squarely on the jaw for selling me that.
give me your weapon skill. Give me your rifle or shotgun skill. Make a skill roll.
Okay. That's a standard pass, 32 out of 45.
All right, you can see that the reason for that dud round had nothing to do with the round. The sand and the grit has worn away the mechanism, and your weapon needs to be repaired.
Oh dear. So it's basically a club now then.
It is a metallic club.
I'm going to grab one of the Molotovs.
All right.
Are there any other weapons about in this passage? Any of the swords or anything?
There are some swords. There are some melee weapons remaining. All of the firearms were taken outside. There were none left to be not used. They were all taken.
Okay.
But there are some sabers.
In that case, I'm going to grab a Molotov and a sword.
All right, Molotov and a sword. Herr Hauptmann has a Molotov and an elephant gun.
Creator.
Yep. All right. So there is the library room itself, the round one where you saw the vision of the dreaming pilgrim. There was another round room that had a lot of rubble in it. And that was the workshop room. That's where you guys were building the lightning cannons, and that was also where the armory was and is. So you could maybe go in there, and there's a lot of boulders around in there that have fallen from the ceiling that you could use as cover if you needed to, or you could just be at the far end of that 30-foot long entrance, that crack, because the crack, it goes into basically a hallway where it teed off and went left and right into either of those rooms. Or if you can go through either one of those rooms to get to the rear of this library, that was where the sleeping chambers were, or is that one communal sleeping chamber. You could run back there like the one worker who just ditched the lightning cannon. So Barnes, did you pick up the lightning cannon?
No, I don't know if that's one that's just going to blow up or if it's a good one. So I have little faith in that.
Okay, all right. So there's a lightning cannon laying on the ground there.
My skill in it's very low.
All right.
But my skill with this is pretty high, so it will be this. Come, kingdom come.
Come hell or high water.
Exactly.
All right. So do you want to be in the library, which is fairly open? Do you want to be in the workshop that has a bunch of boulders and stuff in there? Or do you want to be in the hallway between the two, right there at the end of that 30-foot passageway?
In the hallway.
The junction.
Yeah.
In the junction, okay.
It's the narrow spot, so the enemy will be at the greatest disadvantage. Will have their frontage very narrow.
Okay. So, Hopman, are you there as well?
I will follow after. Yeah, why not?
Okay. So, yeah, you guys can be there. Now, one of you, because it is still that narrow, one can be in it, centered. But then the other two can kind of be flanking, so you can kind of lean in, and you'll have like 3/4 cover. You're just going to have a head and an arm sticking in if you want to do it that way. But one of you would be fully exposed down at that end of the hallway.
I'll squat down and point forward.
Okay, so Hopman is dead center, and then you guys can kind of lean in and look in. And at first, it's very quiet. At the end of that hallway, 30-foot long, single wide passage. Now the crack is vertical as well, right? So it goes up. But you just see the darkness of the tan storm happening out there, and then finally you see a silhouette at the very end, and it's a man-shaped silhouette, and he calls out to you and says, he goes, "You have nowhere to run, and this is not worth defending. If you value your lives, lay down your arms and come out, and we will let you live. We just want the library."
Nuts.
We
Salukata.
Salukata, whatever that means. Yeah, I don't.
Bloody dog.
That sounds like a bird dog to me. Who the fuck are you?
Who are we? We are I forgot what I named these guys. Hold on. We are the Black Scimitars. And we serve Alaknak. No. Al-Twalil. And she will have this library.
I'm ready with the Molotov and my lighter.
How's the situation on the other side of the crevasse of rock? Have the turbaned persons and monsters relaxed, or are they plunging in, or
they're not plunging in. So right now you just see a human figure at the end of this of the crack corridor.
Could I quickly run back to my quarters to see if I left my Hoda pistol there?
Sure.
Just so we could then shoot the guy.
Sure. You want to go to the sleeping quarters to look for your weapon?
Yeah, as fast as I can.
Okay. Yeah. So you take off and run out there to go get your weapon.
I tell them I'll be right back. I'm getting a firearm.
You guys suspect that Barnes is just running away.
One more coward in the world.
So
I think he's got his juddies in a twist.
He challenges you to lay down your arms and come out, and you will live.
Not on your Nelly.
All right.
Civilized persons do not threaten civilized persons. If you want us to speak and have a what you call disputation, we come out together and meet without weapons, right? Strong.
You had your chance, and then the silhouette backs up and disappears into the storm. Barnes, as you run into the sleeping quarters, you find your Howdah pistol, and just as you do, you see Goru standing there. Give me a psychology roll.
Goru, 22 out of psychology. 20. Well, this. God, my luck's getting so low. Oh, what the hell? All right, I'll burn 2 to succeed.
Okay. You see Goru standing there, and you call out to him, but he has this strange blank look on his face. And you can see that he's got something in his hand that actually it looks very similar to a device that you guys saw back when you were with Uncle and Goru in that shack. You were hiding in that shack, and Miss Lockhart kind of forced him to discuss certain items that she had found. Goru's holding an item similar to one of those like warty potatoes with little wires twisting around on it. And he's got this blank look. Goru has this blank look on his face, and and he just begins to march off towards the entrance, towards the front of the library.
Goru, what are you doing?
There's no response.
I'll try to meet up with him, but I gotta get my my Hoda pistol so I can be effective at range.
Okay.
At least
you
for
have
a round or
you
two.
have your pistol, and Guru is walking into the library. So the library portion proper where you guys had your vision, and he's making a beeline towards where Ramachandra and Hotman are, which is that entrance, the crack entrance.
I will sprint at the double to join at the defensive position.
Okay. So you walk with Goru?
Yeah, I'm kind of trying to hurry though. I want to figure out what Goru's doing, but I've got a more pressing urge. There's an impending attack any second, so I need to be at the front line with a pistol.
Okay. So as you get in there, Goru is pushing his way past Ramachandra and Hotman as he tries to get into the what are you holding?
It's my version of a Hodu pistol.
So Goru is trying to push past Ramachandra and Hotman. Hotman, we can't hear what you're saying.
Well, I'm totally not important. I was just saying, what the fuck, dude?
Okay, so Guru kind of pushes past it, and he holds this warty potato with wires and stuff in his hand, and as he holds it before him, he starts walking towards the exterior. You know, he's walking down that 30-foot length. You guys can all give me spot hidden rolls, please.
Ooh, 19. That's a hard.
Another very nice roll that
no,
I don't need 21.
Yeah, just a standard pass. Just.
All right, so you are all successful. As you're at first, you're watching Guru as he's walking straight ahead, but your eyes track up, and you see a trio of creatures crawling down from one of the crack openings up high, and they're scaling the walls and coming down like spiders.
I'll take a shot at the closest one.
All right. One gunfire. Anybody else going to fire?
I'm getting ready to light the Molotov.
What's behind them?
Well, behind them, since it's up, it'd be sky.
Oh, yeah, sure. I'll shoot.
Okay.
I was afraid it was like a tunnel that I would maybe be concerned about stuff behind. But
nope. So Ramachandran, you're gonna toss a Molotov straight up.
I'm getting ready to throw it. I'm not actually throwing it yet.
Okay.
I'm poised.
Those with firearms, fire.
A regular hit.
Okay. Hopman.
I will require an expenditure to make it an acceptable hit. I've got 47 for 40.
There you go.
But I shall do so.
All right, spin your dice or spin your luck, and then go ahead and roll your damage. If you have a shotgun, this is beyond 10 yards. This is within 20 yards. If that has an effect on your range or damage.
Now the Hoda pistol was 3d4. 3d4. Okay, 3d4. At least that was in my notes.
Yep.
Okay, 2, 4, 6, and 1 is 7. 7.
7?
Yeah, 7.
Okay.
Fair.
Hopman?
3 plus 4, 3, 9, 14 plus 4, 18.
Okay. Yeah, there's a thunderous boom, and one of them just kind of cracks in half, and its corpse falls to the ground near you guys. One of them was shot by Barnes, injured but still crawling, and one is not injured at all. Ramachandran, you have this bomb.
Okay, are they far enough forward along the crack so that there's no danger of petrol raining down on us?
Yeah, it's not directly above you. It is up and ahead.
In that case, I will light this Molotov cocktail.
Okay.
And
give me a throw roll.
Guru's down in there, isn't he?
Guru is down there.
I've got a 9.
Nobody has a great throw ever.
And well, I've got 9. I would like to, if I may, spend 5 luck to turn that into an extreme.
Oh my God! Great roll.
Because we're at the point now where I might as well just use up all my luck.
You may as well.
Because I'm probably going to die in a minute.
All right. Yeah, you toss this grenade, and it goes up, and just the blast is deafening. Each of you take a D4 in damage. Each of you take a D3 in damage.
You are. The reason I failed my degree was because I was spending all my time playing cricket.
There you go.
Okay, so I am
Yikes. 3 points of damage I've taken there.
I am partially on fire here.
I've now
This is a concussive damage.
I have now lost more than half of my hit points.
Okay. Here, how did Hotman do?
I lost 1.
That's not bad.
I'm a very solid fella.
All right. Yeah. So this grenade was just a perfect toss, and the blast was, incredible. And you guys are knocked to the ground from the concussive force. There's dust and filling this crevice that you're in, and you can't see anything. And as you look forward, you do see bursts of lightning, bursts of blue-white light occurring out there, and there's silence. And you guys sit there with the ringing in your ears and the dust settling. And once you actually get some visibility, once the dust has started to settle, you can see the crack, which had been fairly vertical. It now actually has a bit of a pitch to it. So the concussive force, kind of cracked it open even more up at the top. But things are deathly silent. And you guys sit there for a while in the silence until finally Goru comes walking back into the library with you guys. And as he approaches and he gets close enough, the warty potato falls out of his hand and kind of rolls on the ground at his feet. And he drops to his knees, and you can see he kind of has a quick seizure and then sags to the ground.
I'm going to rush over to him immediately.
Got all rushed as well.
And in Hindi, I'll say, "Goru, are you all right? Are you all right? What's happened?"
And so his eyes flutter, and as he wakes up, he kind of regains consciousness, and he says, "Did we win?"
I don't know.
The storm has receded outside.
So those of us who are we're in the front of the battle. The storm is passing.
Yeah, the storm
has passed.
The storm has passed,
and we seem to have won the battle.
Do you go outside?
Yeah.
Yeah. The sand has piled up quite a bit, so there's a little bit of an upward hike to get out of the library now, but not too bad. But as you get out, you can see the terrain has changed. You see portions of corpses, both ally and enemy, half buried in the sands. You see the twisted wreckage of lightning cannons, and just it's a mess. But it looks like you guys have weathered the storm.
But yeah, so yes, specifically there we're not besieged at the moment.
Correct.
And I can and I probably with others are dragging some beloved corpses out of the sand into the mound again.
Sure. Yeah, you can unbury your dead. Unfortunately, there's not enough of Lockhart remaining to be found.
Oh, I'm pretty sure there was no Lockhart.
Just her shoes are remaining.
wonder what that was about. That was weird. Those shoes.
They still have feet in them.
Oh.
So, so we collect data and take it back into the libraries. Did the libraries show us anything about this attacker in particular? Did the library know what kind of assault we were facing, or is this a new kind of assault?
Yeah, so as you guys, so we'll, time is a little bit elastic here. So you guys spend time like licking wounds and collecting the dead and taking an assessment, and it looks like it's just like 7 people are alive. You 3, there were 2 other of Uncle's workers. There's Uncle and Goru. And that's it.
Wow.
Of everybody that was here, those are the only survivors. Uncle activates the statue with the red crystal on it, and an image of the pilgrim appears, and the pilgrim thanks you for your services. You were victorious. The library has been successfully defended, and the adversary has been thwarted and will not make another attempt for quite some time.
Well,
And
I
at
hope
that
it was
time,
bloody
there will be
worth
another defense of it. But the forces that had been amassed have been destroyed.
My God.
I think my loss of sanity is going to manifest as survivor's guilt.
A lot of PTSD to go around.
And nobody ever remembers Crane Tea.
And nobody ever remembers Crane Tea. Exactly.
What
Oh,
tea?
no. In the Ramachandran house, there is to this day an old battered tea tin sitting on the shelf, full of little knickknacks
And
sand.
and sand.
sandy bags of cream
and-
tea.
And teeth.
And that has brought you to the conclusion of the timeless sands of India.
So is there anything in the game that we didn't uncover or figure out? Or
You didn't. You pretty much hit everything. You hit all the notes. So the steward aboard the Bankura, who was serving you breakfast each day, he was part of this black scimitar cult, and they eventually caught wind that the pilgrim Yithian was gathering people to India, and so they finally figured out, oh, they are, because the cult, they had been instructed by Azathoth Azathoth to make an assault on the library, and they didn't realize that the Yithian was aware of that, and so they finally figured out, oh my God, they're preparing to defend against us as we're trying to prepare our forces to make an assault. And so they started finally, after several gatherings of people got past them, they finally got their act together to try and start looking for people, but they didn't know who to look for. How is how is it that the Yithian is gathering them? They don't know what the method is. So they were really in the dark on how things were going. And so it wasn't until he overheard the conversations about people having these similar dreams that he realized, oh, these are people. They don't even realize it. These people are gathering to defend the library.
so did he
So he
murder
took
Adam?
Huh?
Did he murder Adam?
He murdered Adam. Yep. He murdered Adam, and made it look like a suicide, and a suicide by hanging and fire. It was just, you know, this real elaborate murder scene. It was meant to also induce fear and just be, you know, a horrific death. They used a spell to control the actions of the young private in the field when they were, you know, standing in parade, and so that's why they shot at Hopman, because he forced him to, and the kid had no memory of it, right? Because, you know, you lose your memory from that. So he was like, I didn't pull the trigger, but, you know, clearly he did.
Yeah, that poor kid certainly had no chance of.
Oh yeah, he's being court-martialed as we speak.
So it goes.
Yeah, and so he was trailing you guys, and was going to try and attack you in what was that hotel that you guys were in? I forget the hotel name.
The Royal Pantaloon.
The Royal Pantaloon. That's it. So he was going to attack you at the Royal Pantaloon, but you found your way to Alicon Imports, and once you were in Alicon and you didn't come out, he was like, "Well, okay, then I'm just going to send my tool in there with the, you know, to attack him." So they summoned a dimensional shambler. He imprinted an imagery of you guys on the shambler, and it just had to get one of you. That's all it had to do, was get one of you, because he would have continued to do stuff like this later on. But then, of course, Sanjay sacrificed himself to save you guys, and so the shambler got one person, but he got the wrong person. So yeah, then Uncle took you under his wing, and you went into hiding, and, you know, made it to the train. And
so what did Goro do? The potato.
So Goro was that was just a lightning gun. That was a Yithian lightning gun, as opposed to a lightning cannon. And so Goro was possessed by the Yithian. And so that's why he went out there without talking or anything, because the Yithian had a purpose and goal in mind. And so the Yithian went out there and used the gun and cast spells and you know, kind of cleaned up after you guys did all the heavy lifting.
Cool.
You guys did fantastic. You guys were doing some great damage. I had just terrible rolls. I could, anytime I most of the time, if I finally had an opportunity to attack, I whiffed, you know. I hit twice.
It was a good battle. Our players included Mick Swan, Stuart Lively, David Gasway, Morgan Llewellyn, and myself, with John Hook as the keeper of the secrets. We're currently producing up to 4 shows a week with music and sound effects added in post-production in order to create a richer listener experience. We provide audio-only versions of our shows free for you to download from Podbean or iTunes. The costs involved with the show are provided almost entirely by our patrons. Without them, we wouldn't be able to do what we do. If you'd like to help support our show, please visit our Patreon account. Just $1 a month helps us a lot. You can find a link in the description below. Like, share, and subscribe to our channel, and punch that bell icon for updates on our latest shows. And leave us some comments. We enjoy reading them and answering any questions you might have. This is Tom Rayleigh, together with all the members of our gaming club, inviting you to journey with us once again into the darkness for another adventure into the universe of H.P. Lovecraft and the Call of Cthulhu role-playing game. Until next time, good luck, good gaming.